It is episode 19. Um, sorry, can you get the volume of that? Perfect, thank you. It is episode 19 of the book club. I am James Levine,
And I'm Mohammed.
and we are shooting this live on location from Qatar. We are getting ready for the World Cup.
Yep.
We have found an empty room that they have for us. That this is they're gonna let us go ahead and do this. So we got a special episode for them.
Yeah.
Right. Haku, what's up? I see you in the chat. This is gonna be a good one. Now, this is let that be known to everybody. When you collect those little BSBs down there, you can use them for things, as Haku has used to request an album for us to do. Now, last week we were a little bit more topical. Black Panther 2 was
Yep.
coming out, so we did the Black Panther
Yeah.
soundtrack.
We got a little check from Disney, so we had to review Black Panther.
So we had to exactly.
We had
They're
to.
paying us. Hope you guys went out and seen
Paid
it.
us a lot.
I heard it was the best.
I blew all of mine just this past week, and I'm back to square one again.
So hey, Disney, come calling back.
Yeah.
Next movie you got. Let
Next
us
movie
know.
we got you.
Hey, we're open to anything. Black
Yeah.
Adam, you want us to do a retroactive
DC.
like DC? Hey, we're not just Disney. It's be a little bit of everything.
Yeah, we'll do it all.
Now we did.
Disney will tarnish DC's review if you pay right.
But exactly. Now looking back, did you get a chance to watch Black Panther 2?
I haven't yet. It's because I'm so behind on Marvel movies that it's ridiculous. When it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm currently on Black Widow, so I've got a gang of movies to watch.
It's crazy because it's like you just blink real quick and 3 movies in a series
So
have came
many.
out, and it's like fuck, I gotta
Hey,
retroactively.
I kind of lost interest too. I used to read a lot of comic books, man. Like I used to collect them and the whole shebang, weekly, all that shit. But I think there's just an overload.
The movies, I think I'm gonna sound like a fucking hipster right now, but I think the movies ruined it for me. I think they got too like when it was just like, oh cool, we're getting an Iron Man movie, like we're getting something to show what the comic book
Yeah.
was like, because I used to read a lot of graphic novels, and
Yeah.
I feel like when the movies got too, I feel like the emphasis moved on that.
Right.
And then they smelled blood in the water, and it was like, if we're making 200 300 million $500 million profit every game or every movie, this is the main medium to kind of focus on, get the best writers, get the best whatever.
You know
So,
what's funny? Remember how hyped we were for Watchmen? You
yeah,
had put me up on the graphic novel by Alan Moore, and we had read it right prior to the film, the whole shebang. And it just made me think that would be an interesting one for the book club as well, just discussing Watchmen over a decade later. That was 2009, because I think the gimmick for that was 369, is how they advertised when the movie had dropped.
right.
Yeah, with the
right.
clock hands.
You know what? Maybe.
Think
Well,
that's
okay, actually, I don't want to give it away. So next week we have a special
Oh,
20th
right.
episode, and we have a lot
That's
of things
right.
planned. Will we do Watchmen next week for the 20th? Will be the first movie? I'm not going to give nothing away.
But we got that one other thing for the 20th. We're gonna do Watchmen and that.
We might. It
Well,
might be a
cool, okay.
longer episode. People
Cool,
are going to
yeah.
be at home for Thanksgiving. They're going to be, wanted. World Cup is about to start. Like, there's a lot of hype that, and we
Lot
got
of
some.
prediction.
I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it a little
Anyhow,
bit later.
Back to it. Back to it.
Now, Haku just said his interest died with Thanos, literally and figuratively. That's probably about where I checked out too. And I
For the
wasn't,
Marvel Cinematic Universe after
Right.
that phase.
and I wasn't even like watching all of them up into that. But I kind of caught a couple. My brother kind of filled in some gaps when I
Right,
watched some. I watched probably the worst Avengers, which was kind of, he was explaining to me like, it's not really, if it's this, the
Mhm.
Captain America one.
Sure.
It's like, actually it's not, like it is, but there's better ones. But I just happened to it was on TV and I watched it. It was
Sure.
okay. I definitely see how you understand what you're saying though. Like you miss like a gap of it, and it's like,
right.
it's a lot of storylines.
So I stopped actually watching after what is that phase 3 as well, because right after that Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man's No Way Home, was that the second one? I think so. Yeah, No Way Home. That one basically tied up that phase, and then Black Widow, I think, is the one that kicks off phase 3.
Right.
And it's exactly at that point I literally kind of fell off. I did watch WandaVision on Disney Plus, which was great.
Okay.
And I
heard the
watched
good
the
things.
recent Werewolf by Night. it's like a 40-minute short film that they released that's part of the Marvel Cinematic
Interesting.
Universe based on a werewolf character.
Right.
And that was pretty cool. But like, there's so much stuff in there that, as you said, you blink, you miss out, that it kind of becomes a lot to invest in. And sometimes it feels like one of those things where you want to be all in or can't half-ass invest in it. Does
Right.
that kind of make sense?
Yeah, because they tie things together so
Right,
so firm
exactly.
that you and that's the genius of the marketing, I suppose.
It is.
But it makes you feel like I have to watch them all
Yeah.
because Timo
Low-key.
in the chat, what's up?
Yeah.
Loki and Disney Plus, I enjoy it. I
I
heard
need
I
to get
good
on that
things
too about
that
Loki.
one
I
as
hear it's
well.
actually the best one out of the bunch is Loki.
Now, for this episode right here, we have, of course, our new music release, whatever came out about 30 minutes ago. We're
Mhm.
going to cover that. I'm going to tell you what that's going to be. We have a new segment we're going to do, which we're going to review a product. If you'd like to request a product to be done and reviewed on here, which could be anything. It could be anything from a new burger at Burger King to War and Peace. And in that case, I will read
Wow.
Spark Notes and I will review the Spark Notes version of it. But
Noam Chomsky or something.
let us know though. To kick this off, we decided to tinker with the formula of the new music release.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We were doing like a theme before, but what are we doing this week?
Still doing a theme, I guess, in a sense, but one cohesive sentence formed by just the titles of the various songs that we're selecting.
You heard it right there. Now, is this sentence going to be completely punctually, correct? Will the grammar be, fine? We don't know. I don't care. I'm not Oxford. All right. Not my problem.
The message will be there.
Right. You'll get the gist of it. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys the whole sentence. Maybe we can if you're watching right now,
It's like Wheel of Fortune.
right. If you guys can finish it, let us know. Can I finish the sentence? It's exactly a Wheel of Fortune. Actually. Yeah. So here we have for the first one, it is a song called Awesome by Cash Page off of a new album that I don't know if it's a he or she actually, released today. Awesome
How is
in
that
all
album
caps.
pronounced, for God's sake?
Hmm?
How's that album pronounced?
Ooh, yeah. S2ML, S2MO, or maybe it's an acronym. So it's like
Something to make love to. Because there's a two, so there's two twos.
or something to make licorice.
Something to.
Somebody in Belarus right now is a
Hey.
famous licorice
Homemaker.
right maker. I heard that it's actually really big in Belarus. It does. There's actually a one main licorice factory.
Mm-hmm.
So big, they do tours. People go to Belarus for it, but they actually will DoorDash a pound of licorice to you. Nothing under a pound though.
Dang, how much is it for a pound?
It is. I'm not sure what the what currency Belarus
Is it,
uses, but it comes to like $2.80 in
American dollars?
American dollars, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Do they tip their DoorDash drivers there?
They actually, tipping's not really
This is
big in
nice.
Belarus. It's just kind of like we pay you well enough.
But you
You
know
know?
what they do? Share a bit of that licorice to their driver. It's
That's
common.
wh- that's what
Yeah,
you- right.
share whatever you get delivered. So
Exactly.
If it's food, if it's Uber, you just throw in some gas money, little things like that.
And it's almost like expected in the culture to tip. Like when you're delivering licorice, like you just would
You
give
just-
like that's a part you share the licorice. It's part of the culture.
Like you're already
right?
eyeing the ones you want.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. We might get some imported actually, do some
yeah, we could
Belarus
do a review on that.
licorice, do a review on that.
We could. Well, we'll save that for the 20th.
Right.
the
For the
Belarusian
20th
licorice.
episode,
Yeah.
right. We'll see if we can get it in time for next week,
Yeah.
right? So this one here is Awesome by Cash Page. Let's get into it, see what she about.
I'm so drunk right now. Too danger. I'm not touching the ground. More passion. Oh yeah. Living
That was awesome
Cash Page.
by Cash Page. What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, I think it was full pun intended. It was awesome. I like the beat a lot. You made a good point about the synths. It sounded like something Dipset would have gone over with Jadakiss as a guest feature. on it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool club song, hype song.
Cash Page, if you're out there, hit us up to be your A&Rs because we could definitely make the Cameron and Jadakiss remix
Ooh.
on that happen because it's got to happen.
ASAP.
I liked that. I think that it was fun.
Yeah.
It was light. You know, I
Yeah.
like songs like that.
Same.
I
It's a
also
really good start.
right. I think that her voice is really cool too. Like I think the
Kind of reminded me of like Ray Shremmerd a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mixed with a little
yeah.
Cardi.
so shout out Cash
Playboy
Page.
Cardi.
Check out that album that she just dropped.
Yep.
I'm sure
Something to make licorice.
something to make licorice. Her nod to the Belarus community.
Mm-hmm.
Now the next one in the sentence.
Oof.
If anybody in the chat has a guess, let me know. That was awesome. But the next song's title, and this is by an artist, Maisie. Don't know who Maisie is.
Mhm.
Also don't know male or female in this band, even AI, not sure.
Can't tell.
The song is Girls Just Want to Have Sex. So awesome girls just want to have sex. Is the
Maybe
sentence
it's
we
a
have.
new Cyndi Lauper song.
Could. You know
Yeah.
what? Maybe it's
Mhm.
a song for next summer, but dropped a little early. We don't know. We haven't listened to it yet or listened to Maisie at all. But you know what though? Shout out to Cyndi Lauper. I think
Yeah.
if there's somebody that deserves to be on episode 20 next week, I think we got to see if we can get Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Well, she did respond to that email, so
Right, exactly. So, but
save
we're not
that
gonna
for-
give. We're gonna save
just
it
save it
next
for
week.
20.
Save it for 20. It's a big episode that we're gonna do. Make sure you check us out. Let's see what Maisie got. But shout out Cyndi Lauper though.
Yeah.
Let's do lunch soon though. Like let's definitely can plan out next week.
Ooh, nice.
Eden is a hedonist. She listens to the Smiths. I'm more like a one-night stand apologist. She's so out of my league. Every time I swing, I miss her. Oh my god, I think we're. Oh my god, we're gonna kiss. She's got a grip. She can turn me on just like a switch. It really gets me going when she tells me just like this. Get out of your head. Tell your man to drop dead. Get into my bed. Girls just wanna have sex. Get out of your head. Tell your man to drop dead. Get into my bed. Girls just wanna have. Girls just wanna have. Girls just wanna have sex. Oh fuck, she's eating me out. I'm trying not to scream on her parents' couch. I don't even know what we were talking about, but we were messing around, and then it all happened so quick. Her hands are on my neck, she's got a grip. She can turn me on just like a switch. It really gets me going when she tells me just like this. Get out of your head. Tell your man to drop dead. Get into my bed. Girls just wanna have sex. Get out of your head. Tell your man to drop dead. Get into my bed. Girls just wanna have. Girls just wanna have. Girls just wanna have sex.
Now that's what I call bars. You know what? I'm here for the pop punk revival. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like
about
I'm,
time.
we,
It's been
we-
long enough.
we just covered the last time that hit the States when we did the Limp Bizkit classic Significant Other. And you know what? I think the vibes are coming back. Not to compare the two bands, but I just think that I fucked with the song. It was just a catchy song. Would I be singing it to myself
Maybe.
out loud?
Oh no.
Possibly.
yeah. Yeah.
No, like
Maybe.
it's got a good stuff. It's got a groovy tune. It's a catchy one. What'd you think of that one?
It seemed like a Pat Benatar ripoff song, but like it's felt like a few decades too late for what it's trying to be.
I feel like
It was still pretty funky, and like if you had told me this is from like 1980s, I'll be like, yeah, it's a banger. Wow, it's a while for 1980s, but like nowadays I feel like something like Awesome is more of my alley.
I feel it. I think we've kind of gotten so far off the beaten path with music that a Pat Benatar impression gets me excited. You know, like we haven't really
I
like
could appreciate that. Yeah,
you don't like get enough of the vibe like that. And you know, maybe it exists, and I'm just not hearing it or whatever. But it was kind of cool to just like have that.
Funny enough, how things go in full circle. I've seen a Pat Benatar cover band at Music in the Park a few summers ago.
No way.
Yeah, like pre-COVID.
How was that?
It was pretty sick, man. I like a lot of her songs, and it was just seeing just whomever sings it. It's just especially when she sings live.
Right. Speaking of Music in the Park, I think music was just playing right through. Sorry, everybody.
Ooh.
Sorry, that was just a little peek of the album Prodigy that's coming up.
We're getting those big bucks.
Y'all didn't hear anything we said at all during that whole time. To TLDR, Mo said that kind of has some Pat Benatar vibes. I said, maybe that's not a bad thing. Kind of agreed. He said you seen a Pat Benatar cover band at Music in the Park, correct?
Right.
Wow, they probably just played everything the whole show. I don't know how long we talked. You guys heard everything, but you don't know the titles.
Know what? That's what Maisie would have wanted. She doesn't want a review. She just wants more music playing in the.
Music in the Park was last year. They were
okay.
Promoting something pretty tough. Like they had like some posters or places, and it was the '80s band Flock of Seagulls.
Okay.
You know who Flock of Seagulls is? So they have one song that I know, and it is it was in the Vice City commercial. Might have been and I try to make the night away.
Okay.
And so they were actually going to be there in all their glory. So I thought, I'm right down the street. What am I doing on a fucking Friday? I'll go check it out.
Well, yeah.
They're selling tickets for $30
For Music in the Park?
for Music in the Park.
Can you not just be like across the street chilling by like the museum and
Maybe I could have.
I would chill by these palm trees right here.
Yeah.
They're like soundproof.
Because they do have walls.
Like domes.
Just
That would have been like my
it's a fabric that goes over that just holds in the sound. Nothing free for you. When you're outside of like a certain radius, the music's distorted all of a sudden. It's like, what the fuck? So that was Maisie Girls Just Want to Have Sex.
Yeah.
So right now, Awesome Girls Just Want to Have Sex, and the next song by Neil Francis off of the newest album that came out tonight, Sentimental Garbage, in plain sight. So
what do you expect it to be?
Ooh, see, I don't know anything about Neil Francis.
3 minutes 57 seconds. I think it's gonna be a slower song.
Yeah.
Album's called Sentimental Garbage. Doesn't give it much. Goes by real name in plain sight.
I feel like we might get
Cover has him crouching.
I'm gonna say like an alternative rock type of vibe.
Yeah,
Slower though, like
Slow.
kind of groovy maybe.
Yeah.
In plain sight. If you're a big Neil Francis fans, let us know what his music is usually like. But right now, altogether,
Or hell,
in
Neil
plain
Francis himself can tell us what his music's like.
right, Neil Francis. Hey, look it. We're gonna have a
Club.
big episode next week, episode 20. We'd love if you came through, Neil.
Cyndi Lauper's gonna be there, Neil.
Cyndi Lauper.
Oh wait, no.
You're right. My bad.
No more.
Our sentence at the moment also is Awesome Girls Just Want to Have Sex in plain sight. This is Neil Francis.
A long persuasion won't suffice to prove how much you matter to me. When we die, true. Never mattered as much as the time spent with you. Your perfect image in my brain, frozen in time to drive me insane. And on the road, it's like I never knew you. And at home, it's like I never left you. And all my sins are known to me. Society must take the blame. Reckless pursuit of fortune and fame. I'm bound and gagged and blinded to, a slave to the impulse programmed by fools. It's why I feel the need to stray and live in anguish every day. They say good comes to those who wait. So here I lie and masturbate. Oh, once I finally get there.
That was In Plain Sight by Neil Francis off of the album Sentimental Garbage. What are your thoughts?
You know, felt a little like Kevin Parker-esque, Tame Impala-esque, just psychedelic pop rock. It was cool. It wasn't bad. There was nothing wrong with it, but it didn't have anything too unique for it to stand out to me. What do you think?
So I think that the song is cool,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I enjoyed the song.
Mhm.
This is my only gripe with the song, and it's not the song's fault. It's not Neil's fault. It's nobody's fault in particular. It might be a group of people's fault, but
Might be Neil's fault, maybe.
I just know that I would just hear this song played in like the most obnoxiously pretentious coffee shop in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like one that got like the beans
Yep.
in the back that you can see, you know what I'm saying? It has like
the
fair
pour over.
trade, you know, somewhere. It has like a coexist sticker. It's like a
use a bird-
embodiment of a coexist sticker.
They use a bird grinder to grind their beans.
right,
Then
absolutely.
the gooseneck kettle. to
Right.
pour the hot-
Everybody has horn rimmed glasses
Yeah.
there, you know. Everybody
Everybody will tell you what Neil Francis's best album is.
right, or no, huge fans. He's actually he used to play there on his
They've
come up.
got the Neil
He was-
Francis on the menu.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, like cool song, but I just know it's like the most obnoxious. Like,
They would scoff if they knew we listened to In Plain Sight. It's probably the mainstream.
right, exactly. It's like I liked his first album that I used to find on Bandcamp, and when
Before he signed to XL Records.
he actually used to play 3 blocks down. He used to just flip his guitar when he first got signed. His guitar
I liked
case
it better when he
open.
was homeless.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Damn, some real fans.
Right, it was somebody telling you this with like the biggest scarf. It's just like a comforter, a bed comforter, just scarfed around them. Reading War and Peace or something, but
Oh,
like
man.
actually never got past the 7th page. Just been on their phone the whole time. Just like Instagram, the like on their story, like a picture of like the 50th page, like going through War and Peace. Going through.
Holy shit.
That's my only problem with it. But that's not Neil's fault. Neil just out here to give you the
Hipsters, Neil's catering to the hipsters. He knew he was making hipster music. He called
True.
it sentimental garbage. He knows.
Yeah, he
Look at
knows
that
his
cover,
fan
bro. He has
base.
that old like 80s, 70s, you know, cover with the
Right.
white border and the title on the top.
He knows his fan base.
He might that shit might as well say like LP 33 / 1/3 rotations for all that shit.
He actually
He knows what he's doing, bro. Black and white.
he sold it in a 8-track form on his website. Like it's got to be deeper than just like the record. Like nah,
You
everybody's
know, Urban Outfitters got an exclusive on it. That exclusive colored
Absolutely. Kids are gonna wear like Neil Francis shirts in like 50 years and be like, "Oh, you weren't real Neil Francis fans. You don't know about Neil. He tells a story of my life. Tells a story of my life." Neil Francis, we need to get you on the show so we can talk about.
You didn't clarify if that's true
right,
or not. Right?
Exactly.
Like what the
You
fuck?
let us know.
Plus, but anyways, here it is, the finale.
So our last one we are so far awesome to finish off. If anybody in the chat got give you some BSBs or
Feel
something,
free to enter an ampersand in between.
absolutely, to see right, exactly,
A free ampersand for everyone.
get your wheel of fortune on if you want to throw it in. But awesome girls just want to have sex in plain sight.
I'm hella done. Can we just give it an advance?
Huh?
I'm just hella dying because we're about to just read off the whole answer to them in a sense.
It's pretty, because you know what, I will say, I think because one would ask maybe is what makes them awesome for like having sex in public, right? And it's got to be the rebellious nature, because it's illegal in most states. You can probably go to jail. In Belarus you actually do life, so it's
That's
risky
true.
behavior.
Yeah.
So that's what makes them awesome. So awesome girls just want to have sex in plain sight and burn everything.
We should have done it in random order next time.
And they have them put it to, that's a cool idea. Have them scramble it. See the first person to scramble
We're
it.
just going to redo this again, guys.
We'll try that again next week, actually, episode 20. We'll make
Redo.
sure we're going to perfect this for you guys.
Same tracks.
This song
Chopped and
is
screwed.
Sean Leon featuring Ye. Now, Sean Leon, I don't know if you've heard him on many tracks before, but he does a lot of work with Daniel Caesar.
Okay.
I'm a big Daniel Caesar fan.
Okay.
And that's his own stuff is pretty good, but he reminds me of Daniel Caesar a lot. Like it's
Okay.
that kind of almost Daniel Caesar to me, because he's from Toronto, right?
Okay.
And I feel like he's a good representation of a different component in that like Toronto R&B sound. So like Party Next Door is like Party Next Door type, Majid Jordan. But there's a place in that that's kind of moody, feels like a cold winter that like Daniel Caesar kind of fits into. Sean Leon makes similar music to that, right?
Okay, interesting.
Don't know if he's from Toronto. I actually don't know like his location specifically. But to finish off, awesome girls just want to have sex in plain sight and burn everything. We didn't tell you, so you didn't realize at the beginning, the awesome girls were also psychos. They're just having sex
Hey.
everywhere, burning shit, But they're
Let me
awesome.
ask
They
you
have cool
this.
personalities.
Do you think we're going to
Good
get a
taste
Sana
in
Wana
music.
Hana verse from Ye?
Will we get a mumble from the? Probably, yeah. Odds
yeah?
are.
You
The
s-
odds are high.
Okay, so you're saying mumble? Okay, and by the way, neither one of us have listened to this. This shit just came out.
Right.
Well, actually, this was so it was leaked, but I don't know if it was this version that was leaked or another because I didn't check it out.
Because it was supposed to be on Donda 2, I believe.
Yeah, I believe
At
so
first it was
too.
recorded in that period.
Right. It's funny because as soon as it leaked, Sean Leon's then announced that it would be released today. So, which makes sense.
Right,
Like
might as
he
well.
was kind of getting clowned on it for it, but that makes sense when your shit gets leaked. Of course, just announce it's gonna
Right,
be, yeah.
right.
But so I haven't heard it either. If you say it's gonna be mumble, what percentage? How many bars do you think it has, etc.?
I think it's not a long verse.
Okay.
I think it's short. And then maybe like it's like 20%.
20% bars.
No, 20% mumbled its way
Ooh,
through.
that's generous. 80% bars.
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Will it be cohesive? I don't know,
Okay. Okay.
but I think we're gonna get like 80-cent bars.
Wow. Okay, that's generous because I must say 30%, 30% bars and 70% mumble.
I only say that too because there was a close enough finished version that I think had a lot of lyrics already. So
Oh,
it's
I
not
see.
something that he just kind of came in and
Oh,
like
gotcha,
here's a non-finished song that you can take, but it
Gotcha,
feels
gotcha.
more like. So that's why I would be kind of leaning more towards that. But
Interesting. I love how we both just had some percentage of mumble there, regardless.
Right? No,
Though.
it's not exactly. We know what it is. We know what this is.
Let's get it.
Burn Everything by Sean Leon.
Oh, burn everything like gasoline. Oh, burn everything like gasoline. Oh, like gasoline. Wife gasoline. That's not my thing. We got those things. Oh, I just can't change. Burn everything. Oh, burn everything. Glory in my eyes, this the story of my life, and you'll be sorry that you tried me. You'll be sorry that you lied, you'll be sorry. I pour a 40 for the guys, it's for my brodies in disguise, and not these phonies in disguise and telling stories. Yeah, they telling stories, telling lies, cause the fact is I'm right, so the facts they don't like. They telling stories, telling lies, trying to censor my light, but I'm blessed, I'm alright. Yeah, hey, I'm a legend when I step in, ego tripping, ego deafened. This is destined, this is God flow, this is heaven. It's that 777. This that flow from my transgression, second guessing every second. Each and every session feel like sex and Armageddon. What's my new obsession? Just this bitch in my possession. What's in my direction? Just these meals from my expression. Baby, I'm your best friend, not your boyfriend, that's a dead end. Then you learn your lesson from your last man, shit depressing. Then I tell you last time I'm a motherfucking legend. Burn everything, legend. Like gasoline. Burn everything. Oh, burn everything. I just can't change.
That was Burn Everything by Sean Leon featuring Ye. What'd you think of it?
No mumble. No sana, wana, hana.
But no verse really.
Yeah,
like a
that's
hook.
true too. It is, yeah. I thought it was cool. The beat was cool. The singing was cool.
I believe that was, if I'm not mistaken, ATL Jacob on the beat.
Okay.
Who that's like the trap producer of the moment. I think he did the song, the Future song with Drake. Wait for You off of the Future album. So he's on the come up right now.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
okay.
I think that I like what Sean Leon was doing. Like I liked his flow in it,
I
like
did
the
too.
sing songy
Yeah.
bit of it.
Right.
May or may not be something that I just couldn't really find a place I would listen to it in. You know, I felt like I don't know if it was missing something, or I might just kind of be over the trap sound in general. Like it's gonna be very. I kind of pick and choose my moments. My consumption of trap at this point is like whatever song is hot on TikTok that I happen to come across, and I'll listen to it in the TikTok spurts. Like, okay, cool.
Right.
But
Just
it's,
those particular bars.
yeah, exactly. Like I consume trap raps exclusively now on TikTok. That's the only platform I
Trap
listen
talk.
to trap. Just trap talk.
Trap talk.
But it's okay. But you know, the moral of this story though is awesome girls just want to have sex in plain sight and burn
Burn
everything.
everything.
So if you miss an awesome girl, or if you meet an awesome girl, excuse me, and you know this isn't all awesome girls, but you know you meet an awesome girl, if she has a thing for having sex in plain sight, maybe run. You might get Lisa Left Eye Lopez, get your house burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that.
Everything.
But it was everything. So it could be like your car.
Everything.
Could be like, could just be like something random. Like, oh, why'd you burn my socks?
Yeah. Everything.
I gotta go get socks now. That socks isn't. It's like, it's something easy you can pick up, but it's like not like I can't just walk to 7-Eleven and get socks. Like I have to actually go and get socks, and I have to make the decision. Don't burn anybody's socks.
It's
Even
the
if
worst
you're
thing.
awesome
Just
girl.
leave them with their socks.
No.
Socks and a pair of shoes.
At least. Come on, we're not barbarians here.
Yeah.
This brings us to our next segment right here. It is the product review that we have. And what do we have right now for our product?
So for our very first
Thing,
product
idea.
review, we have a deck box.
A deck box. All right. Now, I see here it is that Dragon Shield?
Yeah.
Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the brand, and the deck box brand. The deck box in particular is called the Nest 100. It's because it fits 100 cards.
Ah, I see. You get like okay.
Interestingly enough, you figured out how to open it right off the bat with the 2 magnets, right?
So these are like
Yeah,
magnetized.
so exactly that. You would just pinch at the 2 spots up here and down there,
Ah, okay.
and then
okay.
remove it.
I like now. How new is this? You recently picked this one up.
Yeah, a few months back.
Any cards in particular that you're looking to? Where'd you hear about it actually?
So
How'd you come across
sure,
something
no,
like
I
this?
use this brand's inner sleeves as well as their outer sleeves for
Okay.
my Magic the Gathering cards.
Okay.
So initially I had a deck box that fit about 60 cards. A little more than 60, but nowadays the more popular format to play Magic is no longer standard where it's 1-on-1, but it's called Commander where you play 4 other people or 3 other people, excuse me. In Commander, you don't create a 60-card deck. You create a 100-card deck.
Right.
And basically, the deck that I had created, my old deck box wouldn't fit. So that's when I picked this up. And it fits 100 single-sleeve cards easily. Here, let me just use an example of something. Here, we'll use fucking counters. That was an example. So you could single-sleeve cards by just sticking them in the outer sleeve, right?
Right.
But if you double sleeve it, you put a inner sleeve into it first, like this one, and then you just slide it into the outer sleeve, and that's double sleeving. So when you double sleeve it, however, it's a super tight fit in this box, which makes it somewhat pretty hard to
Craft from.
like get the cards in.
Right.
To the point where especially when your cards are holographic, and I've got some holo cards here, it makes the card even more thicker, which then
Got
like
it.
crunches up the space. So later on, I'll be putting the cards back in. You'll see how I'll literally have to push the deck down to squeeze out air,
Ah.
and then squeeze a few last cards in.
right.
What I need to do is just take my deck and just put like a book on it one of these days and squeeze all
It's
the
like
air out.
flatten them out.
Exactly
Right.
that. But otherwise, that's one thing. If I had single sleeved it, it shouldn't be a problem. So for anyone single sleeving it, or it shouldn't be. But when you double sleeve it, it does take up more space, especially when there's 100 of these.
Now, is this specifically for Magic cards? Can people put
Nah,
any kind of
anything,
cards
yeah.
in this one?
Only thing is, in Japan, some games, not necessarily Pokemon, but I believe Yu-Gi-Oh and some other trading card games like maybe Digimon and some other stuff, Vanguard and such, they use slightly smaller cards as their standard size. So a deck box this size may be a little excessively slightly big if you want to be just very nitpicky about things, for those cards. But otherwise, for any
right.
American standard game or Pokemon, this works, or just anything in general.
This is
And then
now-
again, that's if you're being nitpicky.
how much would one expect this to run them?
Sure, it's just like $20. I
Okay.
got it from Amazon for 20, give or take $1.
And how does it? I feel like I'm
Sure.
doing this wrong here.
What's cool is you could actually put this in any way you want. So once you got your deck out, you could pop it in this way. You could pop it in. You could pop it in this way, however the fuck you want. Only downside is that when you pop it in this way, it gets kind of hard to take out because all you could do is just
You
yank
just got that
this
front.
out.
Right, right, right.
While you're squeezing this. especially when you already have your cards there. But it's, as you can see, like it's pretty fucking tough to yank out if you want to like even just give it a go.
Yeah, and I think that's what I like about
Yeah.
it is it feels sturdy.
It is,
It,
yeah.
it feels. I like the leather on this. It's good quality. It's
And the inside, did you feel the inside?
yeah, I like
Uh,
that. The inside was like a nice little
Velvety, keep your
little
cards safe.
velvety
type
felt.
thing.
Yeah. Make sure that they stay safe in style, and then it
Right.
comes with with those as well.
Nah.
Okay, those you were
Yeah,
picked
so
up.
I
Okay.
bought the inner sleeve separately,
Got
and
it.
then you buy the outer
Same
sleeve
brand?
separately. Yeah, I buy it all
Okay.
Dragon Shield, and it's not even funny enough. It's not even a freaking brand loyalty because I have no stake in any of this stuff, especially at this age.
Right.
They just make top-notch products
just
for
good
a
quality.
variety of things. Yeah, no, and they knock it out
Alright.
of things. There's another version of this called Nest 100 Plus, where it's just this with a little bottom compartment for your dice counters, counter dice.
Got it.
So it's a little pull-out counter, and then you know in Magic the Gathering you might have counters on your creatures or whatever, or your artifacts, and yeah, it's a cool little place to store it. But I don't need it excessively. Plus, my hipster ass would rather have it like in a little pouch, like one of the little pouches. that you
Right,
get,
right,
'cause
right,
they have
right. Of
cute little
course.
pouches for fucking dice as well. So I thought it'd be cool with my elf shoes. No, just kidding.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, this kind of does. It kind of gives away what we're going to be doing next episode on the 20th a little bit because we are going to be playing a round of Magic the Gathering. We're going to
With Post
have. It's going to be. It's Post Malone, Gordon Ramsay, Emma Watson, and Ray Lewis from the Baltimore Ravens,
Oof.
ex football player, used that night. They're all joining us to do a round of it.
Commander, 4
Uh,
players.
That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be. They're all way better at it than me, so I'm the extra person. I'm just gonna kind of be learning, playing with him. While Gordon Ramsay though is actually a really
He has a
good
really
player.
expensive deck,
Yeah, he's got it. He's got a crazy deck. He's so that's gonna be a good match. Make sure you watch next week. I know I'm giving a little bit too much away,
Good.
but this is our new product. Would you recommend this to the people out there if they have some cards that they want to store?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they've if it's just a single sleeve deck and up to 100 cards can fit there easily, perfectly, no problem. Double sleeved as well. Again, I think this is on me, so I love how he did this little half-assed review. I think I should just squeeze some additional air out of these decks, because again, that's what makes them go up really high.
Now, just kind of fun fact. Did you know I seen that there was a Oakland Raiders player that retired recently, like in the middle of the season,
Okay.
right? He was playing, right?
Uh-huh.
He was kind of like we picked him up in the middle of the season, so he was a free agent, right? So he was maybe making like $315,000 this year. It was like
Uh-huh.
his second, third year. He's a young guy, right? Retired in the middle of the season. Come to find out, he retired because he is making more money on the side selling Pokemon cards.
Oh wow.
He actually made 670, so he doubled his salary in Pokemon card sales. And so he retired and he's like, I'm gonna do this full time.
Yeah.
He's gonna be full time Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how the trading card game investment business is insane. What typically happens is people so individual cards do have value, of course, but the best way to make money off of it, from what I understand and from just some of the channels I watch, is when you buy the booster boxes. Like say a Pokemon booster box now would cost for a business like a comic store, it would probably be about like $82 per pack, and I think they contain like 36 packs or whatever, or boosters or whatever. So $82, and they sit on it, and they buy it in bulk, and they sit on it. As like months and years progress, those older boxes retain value more so than if they had opened it, because if you open it, you get a lot of commons and janky cards and shit.
Right.
But if you just hold on to it, then just the surprise factor of what you could potentially pull, because there will always be chase cards in these sets. And if you just want the chase card, it'll be like a couple $100 maybe, right? A few hundred. If it's especially like some sort of new Charizard. But just the deck box alone, or selling these boosters, could actually be worthwhile more, because that $82 box could now be like a $200 booster box that people sell, or like one booster pack that's like $4 and like 19 cents MSRP or whatever, will now become like a $20 booster pack if you sell it on that level, because a lot of the endorphins that comes from collectors is just opening and seeing if they could pull that chase card, especially because how it correlates is now that chase card for that set will also of course go up in price, especially if something similar is not reprinted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We should see if we can get a pack and open one live on. It's like a regular.
Yeah, them
open
shits
one
get
live on
so many views, bro. Like it's insane. Right now, yeah, there's just so much to discuss in regards to that. But like, if we could find something retro, like affordable, yeah, we actually absolutely should.
Be on the lookout if you have
Yeah.
any recommendations.
We
for-
do have something on the 20th anniversary.
Right. It is
Schmuckanat.
a little, to just give you guys a little bit of something. There's gonna be some. I don't want to call it a complete partnership just yet. We're still in the works, but
Mhm.
something with a certain video game brand in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to give too much though. Don't want to give too much away.
We'll leave it there.
Now for the main event, we have
Here we
our
are.
new album this week, as you can see right here in the picture frame that I have out here in Qatar. We have an album that was chosen by Haku Systems himself, and it is The Prodigy. That's the name of the artist band, maybe. And this is a album called The Fat of the Land. Now, did you get a chance to kind of look anything up on this or them in general? So get a little background. I've never heard of anything from them.
So neither had I. The little research that I did off of this is turns out this is their third album. No, so I guess they're a band and their members consist of like a variety of different acts. Like there's one person that's specifically there to shuffle, and I guess one thing that really led them to be like these trailblazers for like electronic rock in England was just the fact that their live performances were unlike any other. While where they were performing, they had one of those members just strictly shuffling, etc., etc. And I believe in some of their earlier projects they didn't have vocals. I think this was one of their first projects that does incorporate it. Third album dropped in '97 on Excel Records, which I found
Okay.
surprising because I didn't think Excel Records had been around that long. Yeah, and then I guess there was a controversy for this opening track that which we're about to get into, "Smack My Bitch Up," and I'm sure we could figure out where the controversy lies, right?
Right.
Just the title in itself, but that's the extent of it. You said you don't listen, you haven't heard much from the Prodigy either.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing there might be songs that that maybe I've kind of heard in passing, maybe I'm not like aware of, but never something where it's like, oh, this is the Prodigy. I kind of discovered it. So good choice, Haku. Thanks for this one. Also, really interesting that they had somebody that was a part of the band, the group, that was there to dance.
Just
That's
yeah,
pretty cool. That's basically what the Filipino guy from Black Eyed Peas did.
that's true.
He was actually, I don't think he ever actually spoke on a song. I think
Diap
he was just
or-
there. Diap, yeah. Apple
Apple
yeah.
Diap or App Diap. Yeah.
App Diap. But you know what? We're going to actually have one of his first exclusive interviews coming up. So, but
Oh, yeah.
episode 20 is going to be a good one.
Thanksgiving Apple.
We're going to get to the first song. This one is called, this is the one you were talking about.
Smack
This
My
is
Bitch
Smack
Up.
My Bitch Up. Let's see what these guys got. Oops. that was Smack My Bitch Up. Now, Haku did say that this was a banned music video from
Oh, yeah.
MTV, right? And you know that we love a good music video with a message on here. We had the Limp Bizkit one when they were
Mhm.
fighting off the controversy,
Yep,
right?
Yep.
And I guess this was banned from MTV for, as Haku says, glorifying lewd acts. We're gonna see just how lewd they were. I don't know if we're gonna be able to hear it, but let's see. Should this have been banned? I don't even think they gave me the full video.
For real.
You know what? Shame on MTV though, because
Shame on YouTube for still trying to ban it in this day
Right.
and age in 2022, bro. Almost 2023, and they didn't even give us the full video.
they didn't even give us the full video. I didn't see nothing wrong with it.
Nothing
don't
at all.
see.
It
It
was
looked like
really
a-
well shot.
A lad getting ready to hit the night. He's
Like
a.
he was having a little fun.
He said it gets
MTV
wild. I guess it gets so wild that they couldn't even show us that. I'm kind of curious now. Tell me, there's no Smack My Bitch Up video? Somebody remade it in
That's
2021.
hardest.
This is the story of people just like remaking the shit. Is it the
Maybe
same
we just
thing?
gotta save it for the Thanksgiving episode.
We
you
might.
know what I mean?
I gotta save it for the Thanksgiving episode. I'm
Thanksgiving special.
piqued my
Smack
curiosity.
my bitch up.
The first time in America that we've shown it since they banned it on MTV, but you know what? We
Yeah.
unbanned it because MTV
Unbanned.
didn't pay us.
We banned MTV
We-
in turn.
Banned them for you,
Mhm.
the prodigy. Smack My Bitch Up. What'd you think of this one?
It was cool. It was kind of what I expected for like a 90s electronic band. You know what I mean? Electronic rock band. Kind of gave the vibes I expected it would. I really like the drop. That's an interesting way to kick off the album.
It's giving me already like Fat Boy Slim vibes.
Yeah, exactly
You know what I'm
that,
saying? Like that
yeah.
late 90s
Nightcrawlers,
electronic. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm fucking with it so
Saint
far.
Etienne.
So far, I like it. This next one is track 2. This one's called Breathe.
1 and then a 2. 2 and then a
Let's see.
3.
Maybe this is where
Fabulous got his
maybe sampled it.
inspiration for it.
We'll see.
Absolutely.
I gotta say, like, this is really interesting because I feel like we've, this is 97. You said
Mhm.
it was right.
Yeah.
In about 25 or so odd years, we've gone from what was like that first run of electronic music, kind of like EDM ish, shuffler on stage type of thing,
Yeah.
to really like full on mainstream. Electronic is almost pop. At
Right,
this
right.
point, and like there's so many subgenres in it, so it's kind of interesting to take what we kind of know now and then take kind of what the early what it
Sound
was.
yeah, especially in England.
Right, kind of where like
So
that.
much origination from Europe, you know.
And I feel like what strikes me the most is these nowadays these EDM DJs they're DJs, but it sometimes feels like in name only, in the sense of let me land this plane real quick, in a sense of it was kind of almost refreshing to hear like DJ scratches on it.
Right.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I seen how Haku said in the track there was, or in the chat there was like Wu-Tang sword samples
said,
on
yeah.
that. Like that is pretty inventive, especially for the time, and it's kind of really taking the idea of DJing and making it a dance, kind of danceable. It also kind of reminded me that like drum and bass, I realized like when I was listening to this, drum and bass had a big run in like the early 2000s because I could have imagined this song was like what they would play in the background of like early YouTube like 9/11 conspiracy videos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
that,
what I'm saying?
right.
Like they were gonna like give us a secret on Saddam Hussein
Yeah.
with the Prodigy playing in the background.
Yeah, it really
Uh,
is.
What'd you think of this one? Breathe.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, I thought it had a really funky beat, gave it a more hip hop type feel, especially with the sample. Like you mentioned, the scratches were dope. Um, it was cool. It felt like something that the Executioners would have put out, like
Yeah.
along the lines of that. I'm still curious to see where the rest of the album goes. However, yeah.
Right. No, absolutely. That was Breathe. Prodigy, so the Prodigy, the Fat of the Land album.
Mhm.
If you're just tuning in, you're now watching the book club, and we are going through this album right here that was recommended to us. The 1997 album, The Fat of the
Mhm.
Land by the Prodigy, their third album. This next one is called Diesel Power.
Oof.
Let's see where Diesel Power takes us.
Yo, I used to check out lyrics upon the format, filled with skill with technique, computer ADAT. My lyrical form is clouds on your brainstorm. I get hype, think, thought, flow, acrobat, sync the track, pump the track, dance missions, clubs like pose, react by scroll visions. Inherited more reflects on the dance floor, blowing up and having mad people showing up, packing crowds, jam-packed venues. Needles collapse while atmospheres continue. Sprinkle that, winning like that, moving like that, hitting like that. The melody is fat. Yo, I'm on the energy source, the cosmic boss with Prodigy, flipping astrology. My intellect's the power with diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. 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 Wind spin back, rewind, diesel power. Blows your mind drastically, fantastically. It has to be automatically. Check it out, you better work it out. Change to another route. My technique, strategies, abilities, I leave chords and mic hanging like spring leaves. Do a try so fast beyond the human eye. Lyrical tactics, vocal gymnastics, ease and pepped up. You get swept up, smacked up, backed up. Your crew's all cracked up. Check it slow, pick, choose quick, you can't stick. My metaphor ranges, strangest angles. You get tangled, twisted side affections. Channels repeat, complete, can't compete. Check the hour texture, mind adventure, exploit
Nah, when Mans recorded this in the studio,
With a-
everybody was
with
like
a rhyming dictionary.
everybody was outside of the studio, like he was like in the booth, right, like kicking his fat rhyme, and everybody else had like a hat pulled down. They were just doing this. I could just see it in my head right there. That's you know what? This actually feels now that I'm getting a little bit more of a bite into it. This feels like b-boy music.
I know.
This
what
feels
you mean,
like
yeah.
you know like
Real DJing.
right.
Like one of the four elements of hip hop.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
breakdancing type.
Right.
It had it brought the if you were in like the late 90s and you weren't trying to rap like Biggie, you were
Yeah.
trying to rap like this.
Exactly.
You know, like it was like just that earliest style of that.
Like he had a history in being a graffiti artist prior to
Right.
doing this shit.
Right. You couldn't use this flow unless you tagged 3 subways.
Like you still remember Busy Bee versus Cool Modi.
You have the cassette. You have the cassette still somewhere in the house.
Still got your Kangol somewhere.
No, this is-
Kangol's in a dookie.
This is, this is absolutely Kangol, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. Kangol. I wonder if they're still making hats. You think Kangol's still making hats?
Is LL Cool J still alive?
Yeah, you're right. He's keeping the brand. The brand is strong as long as LL Cool J is still here.
LL
I might buy a Kangol and we'll do a review
That'd
on
be
it.
cool, yeah.
You know,
Kangol review would be cool. Yeah.
See what the
My
quality
grandpa
still
used to wear
stands up.
Kangol's unironically, yeah, with
Did
the
he wear
front side. Yeah, no,
yeah, the Samuel L. Jackson special.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one, yeah.
That's a classic. You can't, but you can. The thing about that Kangol is you can't wear that until you're over 50.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you
Especially
can't-
front ways. You can wear it under 50 the other way, but you
But
gotta be
you-
grandpa to wear it.
Even
With
when
the-
you go the other way, you have to be like directing like a local play. You can't just do anything. You can't just be like
hella funny.
working in IT and wear a backwards Kangol. No way.
Like if you're wearing a backwards Kangol, you have to like, yeah. I was just thinking of an old Fred Durst fan who just has a Kangol hat.
You gotta wear it with Jinko jeans if that's the
There
case.
you go.
You got to. But
Bugle
frontwards,
Boys?
though, it's over 50. You get that when you start getting the AARP stuff in. They also give you a coupon to buy a Kangol. That's
I
a fun
love it.
fact. Yeah, Haku's right there with the
Jordan
b-boy
Foreign
stance. Jordan Foreign band. They really was
Boy.
having the like. It wasn't even like the small wristband. It was like that big thick one. With the
Like
with
how
the one-
much could people be sweating to just go so fucking wearing sweatbands all the time?
You know, to
And
be fair,
wristbands. I did it
you
bad,
are
but
always ready for a breakdance battle though. So you don't know when you're gonna
That's
sweat. That's
true.
the thing is you don't know when you're
This
gonna
is a
get
good
sweaty.
point,
You
yeah.
just gotta make sure you got
I
your
just would
Jinko jeans. You
just
gotta
lucky they never had to use it.
right. You didn't. It was like
Yeah.
your sword.
Yeah.
You didn't want
Good
to
to
have to
have.
use that, but you
Yeah.
had to be prepared. You had to
I
stay
agree.
ready at all times. And I wonder if it had like a, you know, if you're doing like something on your arms, it kind of gives you a little bit of support. You know, so maybe there was like a
Ooh, they're,
tactical
floating
feel
on
to
it
it,
in front.
right?
It's like, ooh,
Slide
this
better.
is comfortable.
They actually, I read that they used to grease them up. So when they would go and do like a slide on the arm,
yeah,
that would be able
Yeah.
to. That was outlawed in the
B-boy competition
breakdancing
'84.
World Series. Yeah, 84. They
B-boy
outlawed that.
competition
So they
84
actually
in
They check
Tennessee.
they check your band now
Yeah,
before it.
they do the little touch too real quick on you, so you have to do the
Right,
assume the
right, right.
pose. They do a quick check. If it feels slippery, man, like that could get you disqualified.
And you don't want that. You
You've
don't
been
want
working
that.
really hard to get into these finals. Last thing you want is just disqualification off sweat. So another reason why those bands are used is just to keep sweat off, so people don't think it's fucking grease.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we are next spring. Actually, is a good time to announce that we are going to be live from the 2023 World
B-boy
Series of
competition,
b-boy competition. It's actually going to be in Belarus, so we can pick up some licorice back then.
Yeah, get it delivered to us and share it with our
Share with the village, with the townsmen. See us at the local tavern. The next one we got is funky shit. I think that's a good way to describe what we've heard so
Yeah,
far. It's been
funky
some
shit.
funky shit. You know,
That's how they would describe it.
exactly. That's probably why they. What should we name this song? Okay. Make your prediction. Do they say the word funky shit in this song?
It has. I see. It has the explicit lyrics logo. So I'm a
So they
fucking
have to, right? They have
yeah,
to.
they say it.
The only time they've had that other than this is Smack My Bitch. So here we go. Let's get into it. This is funky shit. Ooh, no lyrics.
Drop that funky shit.
Still no cuss word. That's what we're looking for. So that was Funky Shit by The Prodigy. That's the first song ever to be rated explicit just off the song title.
Just off the just
Because there
it
was
has
no,
to be, yeah.
the whole time we were anticipating a good curse word. And, you know, the longer it went and the more there wasn't lyrics or a cuss word,
The
I
better
think they
got,
could
yeah.
have it could have got really far. It would have been very poignant if they were just like fuck at the very end.
Oh yeah.
Just drop the big four.
Full.
Four.
I thought this was one of the better ones actually. So far, it might be my favorite. Maybe because we listened to the entire shit and we're so tuned into it.
Yeah, we're locked in now.
Like-
we're you know what I need right now? I need fucking anybody, if you can DoorDash me, I need a few grams of ketamine. I need some good fucking Molly, that pure. Matter of fact, no, I need that ecstasy. I need that shit they had back in the 90s before they called it Molly. I need that shit that was stepped on with like fucking chlorine was in that shit. I
Yes.
need that fucking shit. They
Yup.
got the amphetamines in that. That's what I fucking need. This fucking over here. Fuck, I need to grind. Give me a pacifier. Fucking locked in.
Oh, pacifier's genius. Have you seen somebody use a pacifier?
At a rave?
Yeah.
No, but you know what? I bet you Timo has though, because he been in I've been rave adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I've like been to like
Pacifier
the
rave.
right.
Like a
I haven't seen a pacifier. I've been there where it's like, okay, I know everybody's on drugs, we're enjoying it, but I haven't been there like fucking pacifiers and beads up to like the fucking elbows and shit. Beads as long as the sweatbands that b-boys used to use. So there was an interesting there was a voice in there.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
I actually, you know, fun fact, the hey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually know the person who recorded the haze.
Recorded it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was
Did he say one hay or multiple hays?
he said every single hay.
Every single hay.
Every hay is original in that.
Wow.
Funny
Holy
story. I'm at
Every single
this-
one is so on point. That's insane.
I know he went crazy on this.
He did.
So I'm in this pub in England,
Mm.
right? I'm just eating a blood sausage,
Nice.
you know,
Yeah.
some beans on toast, doing my
Mhm.
British thing out there,
Watching a
right?
soccer game.
Watching the some
Football,
footy,
yeah.
watching some footy with the
Watching
lads,
some football,
right?
uh-huh.
And the I'm talking to like the bartender, right? And he's kind of like, hey, you know that guy over there? He recorded with the Prodigy, right? I didn't know the Prodigy was, but I'm in
Yeah.
England. I'm like hearing about
Havoc?
them. This is back in the late '90s, like '99. This is like they're pretty big.
Yeah.
I haven't heard them yet though, right?
Sure.
I'm like, you know, I'm not old enough to get into the club yet or nothing, but
Right.
so I go up, I strike up conversation with him. He told me that he did every single hay. Did every I bought him a pint after that. He did every single
Nice.
hay. He actually, it was a mistake. There was supposed to be more hays.
Oh.
It was miscommunication. So he was on the hey. He kind of like, you know, stopped. He was just like he looked at his beeper. You know, what I'm saying?
yeah.
Back in the day. And-
I hear the beeper when he looked at it and said, "Hey,
And he's like, "Oh, get back on!"
Hey.
It came in.
hey."
But they ended up keeping it. They didn't make it because he did them so perfect that they didn't have him do it again.
That really was perfect and on point.
Those are good haze.
What I do find odd is that the bartender decided to just randomly tell you that that's the guy that did the haze.
Well, because he didn't say he did the haze. He kind of like built it up a little bit different. He was like he was a part of Prodigy. Like, he recorded on the album. Like he worked on the album. So I think maybe he programmed like drums or like but he was actually the hay guy.
Oh, so he was just randomly telling people like he's the hay guy.
Right.
Oh.
It was a smaller area though, so because he lives near the area, so
Yeah.
he goes there often. So he has a relationship with him. I
I imagine the guy that told you had like mutton chops down the side
Absolutely.
and one of those Kingo hats that we were talking
Yeah.
about.
He actually had a necklace that had a pacifier, so no, he was really with the shits.
Hey.
He was for real. With the shits.
Hey.
We shared a pint and we ate a shepherd's pie. We split one.
There you go.
A shepherd's pie there. Timo says, I know Haku. I see Timo, but Haku said it's production like this that lets me know it can never be too maximalist. No, that's absolutely true because there was so much going on, but it felt like the scene in Iron Man when he was like just touching the screen and he's just putting everything in the right place. Like there
Yeah.
was not a hay that was in the wrong place.
Mhm.
There wasn't a police siren that was out of pocket. It was so hard they called it explicit with no
Yep.
words.
Yep,
First ever. Timo did say Pluriot was see, he knows what it, he's seen the pacifier. Timo, let us know if you've seen the pacifier. Actually, Timo, let us know like the wildest like rave thing you've ever seen. Like, was it somebody come in like stilts?
Stay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody like, I don't know, like let me know.
Unicycle.
Haku says though, that's funny you say that. Rumor is it was supposed to be A, but after getting inspiration from a dream, he changed it to Hey, kind of like how Paul McCartney wrote yesterday.
Nice.
That's crazy. That's
From
crazy.
A to Hey. Would you have liked it as much if it was A?
I wouldn't have. I think that was a good call. I think the Hey.
I would have ended the show early.
Right.
Like, that's it. We're done.
Because I think the A is a ruder way to get your attention.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
hey,
I'm walking
hey.
here. Hey, out of the way. You know, but a Hey is more like it's urgent. It's getting your attention,
Yeah.
but it's like, hey,
Yeah.
watch out.
Like Navi in Legend of Zelda, little fairy that just kept saying "Hey, hey"
Exactly.
all over Ocarina.
I wonder
Top.
if that's where the, you know what? I
Could
can't
be.
wait until when we do the 26th anniversary episode. We get all of the original members of the Prodigy on the show,
Together.
interview 'em. We're gonna have to ask because this is too good. This is too
It's
good.
gonna
I
be
need to know hey, what do they prefer? You know. The next song is Serial Thrilla.
Ooh.
They spelled it THRILLA. This is actually from when Rick Ross actually
Mhm.
spent time in England. He went to school there. He went to
Yep.
college there. Did
Yep.
some of his studies in uni, and he heard this song. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna name one of my albums Trilla.
Trilla, named after Serial Thriller by The Prodigy. He's always cited them as a big influence.
Right. If you listen to like the early interviews, like, he was a big fan.
Yeah. It's funny because originally he was debating on signing on either with Slip and Slide Records or Excel Records, just because he wanted to be on the same label as The Prodigy. He was hoping to work with them and just basically take his sound that direction. He wasn't going to even have the drug dealer gimmick actually initially with The Prodigy. He was going to be a punk rocker initially, and he's going to like have a graffiti b-boy background, things like that. So he was just going to go a whole different route. He was going to go by the name of Cool DJ Herc, just a straight rip-off of the DJ name Cool DJ Herc, just because he was adamant about taking somebody's name.
Right, and that's originally where it was gonna go with.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you know seldom known fact,
Yeah.
right? He actually Rick Ross is like he got the Idris Elba to where he'll talk like when you hear him in interviews he'll talk in like the like Florida Southern like tone.
Sure.
But if you ever see him somewhere, I actually seen him at one of the, I think it was back in 09, 2010. He was at the B-Boy World Series, and he actually has a British accent.
Yep.
He
does.
actually
He's
has a
yeah.
British accent. He spent a lot of time there with the Prodigy, and actually got a
Right,
British
he
accent.
actually is. It's
Seldom
pretty-
known fact.
Yeah, a seldom known fact.
I don't really know that. I don't really know that. This is what you get at the book club, all right?
Yeah.
You didn't hear this. You heard it here first, actually.
Rose.
So let's get into Serial Thrilla.
Oh.
Damage is
this is Serial Thriller, and you actually just made a good point. What did it remind you of?
Bumper music, Toonami bumper music.
This is like they're about to Gundam Wings coming up next.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got this for you. And after that is Samurai Jack.
Next week you got Yu Yu Hakusho followed by Cowboy Bebop.
Absolutely. No,
Ooh.
that's something that's really interesting that you bring that up, because I feel like this, like drum and bass, even like this style, I don't know if that would be specifically what the Prodigy makes, but I feel like at the time it was so, it was like the first run of popularity of EDM, and it was the first run of popularity like in Western culture of anime, and they were kind of so because like they used to these were the songs that they would have for like DDR. Like Dance Dance Revolution. I remember my friend in elementary school, he had his brother had a PlayStation, and it was, I don't know if you remember this, anybody remember this, let me know, but he had it like modded.
Okay.
And it was like a specific like memory card that went in there, where he was somehow like downloading like and it's like early, it's like pre-Napster, like at Napster time. He would download these other games and maybe burn them to a CD, but because he had that thing inside of the memory card, it was allowed to play these like ripped games, right? So he had original DDR from Japan.
Okay.
And it had joints like this with the little mat that like folded out. Right? With,
I had
like,
that mat as well, yeah.
Like the sensors were garbage, but it was like the wildest. It was like the first Wii.
Yeah.
Like, wow, movement with video games. Like, they were onto something, but it reminds me of like that. Because they
really
used to, and if you think about it, like the old, like especially if you had it too, the old DDR basically had, like if you ever see somebody who was at like Golfland or something that was really good at DDR, they had the sweatband. Like they were holding on to the back. Like,
holding on to that railing behind them. To be fair, they have a reason to have a sweatband.
You would see like high score, it'd be like Johnny Crazy Legs.
Yeah.
Like, damn, he's still holding that shit down.
Well, for real, no, DDR's something else, man.
Now, just a little callback. Timo did give us an answer of his wildest rave thing he's seen. He said, I was at the Dada Life show in L.A., where they broke the record for longest blow up of a banana. Shit was wild. Or for biggest blow up of a banana. So like the banana was just super big. Is that what you're saying? Like the banana was like, front row to damn near back row. Okay, that's a big banana.
That's a big old
that's.
They had to have used a machine.
They had to, like, one of those that blow
the
up.
The group,
like
everyone just pitches in a few puffs. It's like a community pipe. Or it's not a community, like, blowhole. It's like a big udder. Where the banana has multiple little blowholes that everyone
were they going like rowers, like, all right, blow, blow.
You got somebody up top of your shoulder. Everyone in tandem will fucking roll.
Oh my god.
Blow.
That is, oh my goodness, that's for the.
Sir, I have no more air left.
You gotta blow. We're almost to the back row.
This is a record.
That is fucking hilarious. Haku said, if you've
drops
ever
down like he said it drops down like the oxygen mask in the airplane. Everyone's just like, what? Just grabs one.
All right, are you ready? Oh my goodness. Haku did say, if you've ever seen Spawn, its soundtrack was heavily influenced by this genre. Also the movie Hackers. Have you seen Hackers?
No.
I think like Sean William Scott is in it. It's a banger of like, it's like really good late 90s type vibes.
Okay.
You know, there was this movie that I think it was also had some of these type of songs in it. It was one day I just seen it on demand. It's like years ago. It was about these friends who were gonna throw a rave warehouse party in like 1998 in San Francisco, and they kept getting shut down. Really like dumb movie, but it's like super like brings you right back to the 90s.
Would you say it's called?
Fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna find the name for you because it's worth watching.
One of the movie genres that have like a special place in my heart is definitely like 90s teen comedies. like that American Pie,
right.
not another teen movie type shit. So I'm all for it, man.
No, you got to check that out in
Yeah.
Hackers if you haven't seen that as
Yeah.
well. Timo was saying his dad got it from his coworker. He had the PlayStation mod, right? He knows what I'm talking about. It was weird ass games. It was like all international games. Funny enough though, DDR actually, it's a misconception that it was started in Japan. It was actually one of the Belarus inventions that they had. There's a small game studio in Belarus that
Konami subcontracted. This is correct.
right.
Konami gets the credit, but they subcontracted this Belarusian
right.
publishing company.
Very small. They make like mobile games now.
Yeah.
It's kind of changed.
Yeah.
It's the family that used to own it doesn't own it anymore. It's
So
still different.
when you deliver a game of DDR, as the recipient in a manner of tipping, you're supposed to ask the deliverer to dance. Like you
Right.
invite them in, like, hey,
But you only
round?
dance.
Yeah.
You only ask them though if they have the sweatband.
If not,
because
then
that's
no.
kind of like if you have your like the housekeeping sign out of the hotel room, it's like the do not disturb, right?
Mhm.
Like if you see it though, you gotta ask. You gotta
That's
ask to
more
come in.
recent because they adopted those rules where they allowed the workers to even wear the wristband so they could kind of, show whether they're interested or not.
Right.
Because up until a decade ago, especially when DDR was hot, like in the early 2000s, they were obligated to dance, man. Like
Had
you
to,
and your own,
interesting.
all you're doing is delivering DDR, so you're
Right.
fucking dance. So like these guys would literally die. Like there's a whole thing where like these delivery boys would just fucking be dancing. One would just collapse. The next.
I seen that on Vice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
it's
I seen
crazy,
that.
bro. They just collapse on the spot because of exhaustion, heat. Because Belarus, for the sake of the story, gets really fucking hot.
No, it does in the summer.
Yeah.
Like it gets really hot in the
it
summer.
gets hot,
and,
yeah, it's bad.
And
lack of water, and they
Right.
had to, because if they didn't, they would lose their job, and there goes like the potato they were gonna buy their family for that week
Can't-
off of
right,
delivering fucking
the-
DDR, dog.
like they had to, right? Exactly. The green beans, right. No, that's a sad story. If you ever on
The
Vice,
yeah.
it's
the
on
Belarus DDR delivery boys.
It's a
Delivery boys is what it's called.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a pretty
Delivery
crazy
Boys.
story. They're actually doing a biopic of the situation.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing one of
Right,
the delivery
right,
boys.
right,
yeah.
right.
No,
Very-
the little kid from fucking Stranger Things.
Yeah. It's been in development for so long. Joseph Gordon, he like aged out of it. He,
Look
like,
at that
aged
back when he
out.
was Tommy. The kid from Stranger Things, though, he did so much DDR just to like get on some Daniel Day-Lewis method acting shit that they see he's like one of the top players now. Like
He actually
he actually is
Yeah.
not gonna do the movie no more.
he learns the Belarus native tongue too. Duolingo is pretty crazy actually.
shit.
That was the holdup of like why it took so long for that last season of Stranger
Yeah.
Things. He was doing that movie.
He no longer actually does acting. He lives in Belarus now and professionally plays DDR there.
So check out Delivery Boys. It's coming
Yeah.
out soon.
Yep.
We're gonna probably be at the premiere too. So check that out with us.
I'm not going, dude. You are?
Oh hell yeah!
I told him no.
You're not gonna go?
I told
All
him
right,
no.
I'm gonna stand in solidarity with you, and then the Fallen Delivery Boys as well. You're right.
It's
You're
cool
right.
if you want to
I'm
go,
gonna-
dog. That's cool with me.
I know. It's okay. Like we're gonna. I see. We were
Whatever
already
you
gonna be
wanna
out there
do.
for the B-Boy World Series. We could pop, but it's okay. We're gonna
Alright,
keep it. We're gonna
for
keep
sure,
it
yeah.
with the. We'll maybe find a place to tag or something.
Yeah.
Find some licorice. Take the tour.
Yeah.
Take the licorice. tour.
I
That's what
had
we're doing.
some close friends who died of exhaustion.
Fair.
Yeah.
Were they delivery boys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Hey, shout out to all my delivery boys out there. UPS, Amazon,
Stay
the
hydrated.
Postal Service. Y'all keep it. Y'all keep
Drink
this
that
country
water.
moving. Next song we have is Minefields.
Fuck around the DDR.
Minefields. I have a feeling already it's gonna be very DDR-esque. So let's jump right into it.
I love how we just.
dangerous. Open up your head, feel the shell shock. This is dangerous. I walk through minefields and watch your head rock. This is dangerous. Open up your head, feel the shell shock. This is dangerous. Open up your head, feel the shell shock. This is dangerous. I walk through minefields and watch your head rock. This is dangerous. Open up your head, feel the shell shock. This is dangerous. I walk through minefields and watch your head rock. To watch your head rock. This is dangerous. Open up your head.
Bridge is over. The bridge is over. Time's up.
That was Minefields by The Prodigy. Haku says, this song makes me want to buy those silver Oakley glasses that wrap over the top of your head. I know exactly which ones he's talking about. Those are some bangers. I might bring those back. Oh no, my phone completely died. Let me see.
Ooh, and he also mentions fast motion montage of preparing for a bank heist.
There
It
we go.
Does remind me of something that would play on in Run Lola Run. I could hella see that.
Absolutely. You were
Yeah.
even saying it feels like you're walking up to a final boss.
Oh yeah, in video games. The
Right.
initial part was not the bumper music portion
Right.
that
Then it
kicked in
moved
left. Right,
into
yeah.
right. Right.
The
Then it
initial
moved
portion
to-
felt like total walking up to a boss energy in an RPG game.
Then it was Ocean's 11. Like it shows you the double cross.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
rolling out blueprints on a single tail with the single spotlight. Yep. So you're gonna be you're the front man.
And then
you're
this
the-
shows that guy in the whenever he points to somebody and talks about what they specialize in, it always shows a little clip of them in the outside world of what they had previously done.
right. We're getting the team together. Right. I'm getting he's gonna be driving the car.
It shows him driving car. Another time he did a heist once. He's really good at cracking
Absolutely.
saves. Shows him cracking saves. And then says something charming to a lady because he's the heartthrob of the movie. Let's also establish that he's the heartthrob.
Right.
And then the brute.
Right, like
It's
okay,
just
then
a
we need the
cool one,
muscle.
so-
And he's like just picking up two guys by the neck. It's like Kevin Nash.
Don't you hurt little children.
Hey, George Clooney, hit us up for Ocean's 15. Like,
We
we'll
got
get-
you.
We got the
fucking
soundtrack.
came
We're
up with
gonna
half
hit
the.
up the Prodigy.
He's just gonna steal this shit, bro.
Right. Hey,
He just
don't.
came up with half
This
this.
is copyrighted by the book club.
Yeah,
Don't you
this is
fucking
all
dare.
original.
Don't you dare ever do that shit.
A brute, an electrician that is good at hacking.
Right.
What else do we establish so they
Uh,
don't fucking steal the
Somebody
George
with explosives.
Clooney? Explosives, that's ours too.
You gotta have
The wheelman,
Gotta have wheelman.
ours George Clooney.
But you also need the Mission Impossible guy who gets repelled in.
Yes,
with like the
that's a
hangs
great
in,
idea,
Like
yeah.
he that goes through the lasers.
The limber guy, yeah.
Right, limber guy.
He'll one day, the plot will be he'll eventually set something off later on.
Right.
Not at the initial mini heist that they'll do. Later on, he'll set something off to.
It's the first time he's ever done it too.
Yeah.
we didn't think he even had it in him. And
it
was
leads
like
to somebody's death,
right,
and he can't fucking forgive himself.
right. Hey, Ocean's 15, right
Fuck.
there.
Bull.
Don't take this shit. I swear
We
to
fucking
God.
copyrighted. It's already in the works.
Don't do
George fucking Clooney. Come to the book club too.
it. Come on, come talk to
Yeah.
us. Let us know. Next we have Narayan by The Prodigy. Of course, we're listening to The Fat of the Land here. It's been
Sounds like
quite
an
enjoyable.
Absol track.
And let's see, we're gonna jump right into it and see could we imagine an Absol feature?
Something not boring.
If you believe the western sun is falling down on everyone, if you're breaking free and the morning's come, if you would know your time has come. If you believe the western sun is falling down on everyone, if you feel it burn, don't try to run. If you feel it burn, your time has come. If you believe the western sun is falling down on everyone, if you're breaking free and the morning's come, if you would know your time has come. If you believe the western sun is falling down on everyone, if you feel it burn, don't try to run. If you feel it burn, your time has come.
The Narayan by The Prodigy. You know that this was actually the most expensive track.
How much was it?
This one actually costs XL was not really happy with how much they paid. This was about $250,000 back then, because they had to actually license sounds from NASA. So that little squeaks, while you think it could just be something that was like a sound, that was actually
Alien.
noises that they heard from the moon that were actually kept under.
Yep.
It's like those documents and the sounds were supposed to be like come out in like 2030, but they paid
Not
for
our
it.
moon, by the way. Those noises are not from our moon, just for the people listening, just to
Correct.
clarify. Just a distant moon in a separate galaxy that they caught with the telescope called it wasn't the Hubble, it was the Rubble telescope.
Right, because that one actually was the
Mhm.
first one to capture sound,
Yeah,
and
that's fucking alien samples right there.
$250,000 for
Dollars,
that
dude,
one.
yeah.
That was a big money track.
Yeah.
I think well worth it, because I couldn't imagine the song without the alien squeaks.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you had said too, like this was probably the best singing we had on it.
Oh,
The
yeah,
little
no,
melody.
yeah.
I liked it. Like
I
it
did
was a
too.
well written song.
I thought so too.
I like that they're bringing us in and out of. I
Various
think
sounds and genres,
because
but
nowadays,
while keeping it still like that bumper music vibe.
right. You know, like there's this. I think idea now that if you're making like an EDM song, like
Mm.
you need, you know, Ty Dolla Sign to like sing over the whole thing. I
Mhm.
like this because it kind of went in and out of. Sometimes there'd be a rapper, sometimes there'd be a singer, sometimes it's
Yeah.
just sound. So you never get hammered over the head with like, oh, well,
One
there's
specific-
more rapping, or oh, like there's gonna keep singing on it. Like it had a nice little charm to that.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah,
in that sense.
yeah, definitely.
Just, he has to be the cop at the end. No, disguise guy, absolutely. He takes off the hat, walks off with the bag.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, was I all along?
Right. He's the one who, unfortunately, he's the one that double crosses everyone.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about disguise guy.
That's why if I see a movie like this, I'm just gonna sue Universal.
Haku says it's interesting how this type of music became so tied to technology. Yes, we'll be
Yeah.
surprised if neither of you have heard the next song, Firestarter, at some point in your life. You know, that's interesting because I feel like that, like, turn of the, like, pre-millennium, I feel like there was this idea of, like, Y2K design. And it was like, what kind of jumps into my head with Y2K design is, like, those purple frosted Game Boys that you can see
Yeah,
through.
actually,
you know,
yeah, I
like
have
the
one of
old
those too, yeah.
iMacs. It was like this idea of this is what we imagine the future to actually look like.
Right.
And
yeah.
it's really disappointing that the future didn't end up looking like that. You know, like
Yeah.
that white ceramic type of look. You know,
They didn't realize the future is now.
right. They were making the future back then.
That was the
They-
future.
Exactly. They
And
were
now
the
it's
future.
the past.
Now it's the past. That's some, bars right there. Now that's what I
Hey.
call bars.
Yup.
Now it seems like the Firestarter might be the song that we have heard before. Could be a bigger song from this. Let's get right into it. This is the Prodigy, the Fat of the Land.
Firestarter.
I'm the trouble starter, punking instigator. I'm the fear addicted, danger illustrated. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. You're the fire starter, twisted fire starter. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. On the bitch you hated, filth infatuated. Yeah.
was talking to the Hey guy when I was at the pub. Um, he had initially did Haze on this,
Yeah.
right? He wasn't really happy with it,
Okay.
and they actually got his daughter to do the Haze on this one.
Are we about to get into a whole barrage of haze? Actually.
Yeah, you know what? Let's see
Let's
what
get
these
into the
Haze
whole-
look
yeah.
like. 'Cause
This
it's
is
gonna
his
be-
daughter,
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
his
daughter. This is
daughter,
daughter. Yeah.
but he laid the reference track down.
Right. There's a demo somewhere out there with him doing the
Ooh.
Haze.
There's a group buy for that demo going on right now, actually, on Reddit.
I hope it doesn't get privately bought though.
I hope
That was-
not.
I want- I
by
want that
by
to come
the
out.
Shaq Cole guy or whatever. Waiting for some haze. Whoever laid these down never anticipated that her haze would be anticipated.
Right, that someday somebody be sitting waiting for those final Haze.
Dissecting it. They better be some fire ass haze and not some little ass hey
Yeah, no, it's we need some oomph in these Haze.
for a. Teasing us. Same shit. He. It kind of went nuts towards the end too. Yeah.
Those are some good Haze.
Yeah.
Those are some good Haze. She
Top notch
definitely
Haze.
she did her
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
on that one.
Like father, like daughter.
Haku System said, I believe the song was famously used in the movie Swordfish in the infamous Hugh Jackman hacking scene. You know what? I've
I can see
never
it there.
seen Swordfish. Have you?
No, I know it's the one with Halle Berry, and I think John Travolta's in it too.
Yeah,
But I haven't
yeah.
watched it. No, but I
I'm-
could see it in a hacking scene.
I love movies in this period with hacking scenes. So for some reason, it was like when the internet first happened.
Yeah.
It's like it was propaganda, like, oh, don't have your banking online because
Right.
this person in this dark room is gonna be hacking into your Bank of America. Your Wells Fargo is gonna get. Although to be fair, that's exactly what happened. That's
called it.
exactly what happened. They try to warn us. They try to let us know.
I could also see the song in the commercial for like piracy is wrong type of.
Yeah. Yes. You wouldn't steal a bag of chips, would you?
You wouldn't steal a car.
Think about
What you would?
think about how out of pocket piracy was back then. See, right now you can like rip it and like put it up on
Yeah.
like Pirate Bay or something.
They used to guilt trip us, bro. What
Ba-
the fuck?
back
dog?
then, you had to really like bring a camera in,
Yeah. I
set
remember
the
that shit.
camera up inside of the movie theater, record it, take it home, make copies. Like piracy back then was,
a work, man.
hey, that was some
Arr.
tough work. You know where piracy started?
In the seas, in the 7 seas with the pirates.
That's where it comes from, right?
Yeah.
Right. It came from when you know how they'd have like the ships, the
Mhm.
battleships, right? When you won, you would actually take with their like logo because everybody had like
Uh-huh.
a different kind of like skull and bones type
Uh-huh.
of thing, right? You would
Yeah.
take it and make it your own.
Oh
So it became like pirates. So like their ship would go down. You take everything that had their emblems on
You're
it,
selling it as
bring
your
it to
own
yours.
now.
Right. That was the
Niggas
original
like, hey,
piracy.
I got that Ford ship right here.
Yep.
Shit ain't real.
Like cannonballs,
Mm.
you know, cannons, weapons. That like the guns would have like the little like one-shot pistols would have like the emblem on the handle, and then like you would sell it like this is ours, this is our gang. You know, that's where pirates comes from.
I
Yeah.
love it.
That's where it's from. Yeah, the Haku says, remember though he was like right there with us. Remember those you wouldn't download a car FCC warnings for movies? Yes, yeah. That was so, and it was for piracy, like online piracy. But the scene they would give us was like somebody running from the cops,
Oh, dude,
like
yeah.
physically.
Or like somebody dressed in all black breaking into a car with a fucking crowbar in a dark alley.
Like an old school robber, like a burglar.
Yeah, it really was, dude. It was wild.
That's the rule of the land is if you're in a all black like turtleneck robbing.
Oh,
you're a
yeah,
burglar.
turtleneck robbing. For
You're a
real.
burglar.
Just the eye mask part too.
The hamburglar mask. Yes.
Like motherfuckers that little eye mask.
Just for the eyes.
Zorro shit.
You already know. Coming down to our last two songs. This one is called
Climatize.
Climatize. Climatize, not to be mistaken for
Climatize.
Climatize. This is Climatize.
Climatize, yeah.
That's what it is.
They're not promoting global warming or anything like that.
No.
This is climatize.
What do you
Perhaps
think they are? Phineas?
bouldering. Maybe they're just
Could be.
it's a bouldering song.
Maybe they were big on that.
Yep.
Let's see. actually the part in the heist movie where just when you think the heist is done, like damn, they're caught,
Mhm.
there was one more twist at the end, and you find out it's like damn, but this didn't. It's like, but if you thought about, and it rewinds you through the movie, and it takes you to that one thing where you've seen what somebody else did in the meantime, and they set something up. The key should be right here. And then they did. Yeah, that's the
You know how they get away in our movie, right? The
other
twist.
way.
The cop doesn't read them the Miranda rights.
The actual legal system fails.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's
to
it
go
right
with like
there.
the final scene is their lawyer, their attorney, their team of attorney in the courtroom, and says, "Your Honor, the police did not read them the Miranda rights, and the case fucking closed. Don't waste my time with this shit." Boom, hits the gavel.
And it was
roll
all
credit.
because there was one guy that was a part of the team that nobody really knew what he did, and you see him at the very end. He distracts the cops just enough to where they forget to read the Miranda
Miranda
rights,
rights,
and
yep.
they end up getting away.
Yep, and he looks back at the camera at the end of the movie, like
Yeah.
he just looks back at it.
And then the song starts playing
So,
again. It
yes.
reprises one more
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Right.
Matter of
And
fact,
movie, Fiend.
one reprise is not enough. In the middle of the credits, we show one more scene, right? Like 30 seconds into the credits, we show one more scene, and as soon as that scene's over, we reprise the song one more
One more.
fucking
And
time.
for the credits.
Just
right?
yeah,
End
just
credits.
one last
Yep.
fucking time.
Yeah, and that end scene is just like that like 30-40 second scene, or like into the credits, is what everybody did with their money.
Yeah.
And like you've seen kind of like, because everybody in the movie learned about what do you want to do when you get out, like when the last big heist, what do you want to do.
Yeah.
They're all doing, somebody buys like a boat,
Yeah.
like, you know, somebody like
Opens an orphanage.
right
Yeah.
ends up being like a fucking teacher,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. A couple of them end up hooking up and having kids of their own.
Right. It was like tension throughout the whole movie. And you said, they got to, because they were like a close situation. Like you kind of just seen like, okay, you guys are probably.
And
gonna
then
work
we could
together.
put like a little joke, like the only thing these guys are getting robbed of nowadays is their free time.
Right. Somebody
Yeah.
sends like a message to everybody. Like they all get like a letter to kind of see how everybody's doing,
Yeah.
but it like crumbles, like disintegrates, like
Ooh.
in 15 seconds as soon
Or-
as you read it.
Or the letter says at the very bottom, it says, "Down for another one." Boom.
Setting up
Fucking
16.
shut the movie off. Done.
Ocean's 15, Ocean 16, we have right
We
here
got
for you.
two.
We're setting it
Done.
up for you right now.
Done.
George Clooney, holla at me.
George Clooney, you should just drop us a DM. Bitch ass George Clooney.
Let us fucking come here. Defend your honor here
Yeah.
yourself. Now, this has been for not knowing anything coming into this. This has been a fun album right here.
It's been pretty cool, yeah.
It brought me back to, like you said,
The
old
90s
like,
again. I don't know
like-
how many times I could just like, get that nostalgia blast.
Right, because it hit a different kind of place that
It
like
did, yeah, absolutely.
Limp
Same
Bizkit,
time
and we kind of
period.
said there, but yeah, same time period. It's it reminded me of Furbies. Reminded me of like Beanie Babies. Of I was telling in the chat, I was talking to Haku. I was saying like the Capri Sun commercials where that guy
Ooh.
turned into like the silver fucking liquid metal into it.
Yeah.
Like yeah, hey man,
Oh
it-
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Holy crap! I forgot about that shit.
Fucking extreme Lunchables. You remember when Lunchables? I just seen this commercial like on like TikTok or something. Lunchables had like towards the end of like what I remember like getting it for like a fucking field trip or something. It had fucking cold ass hamburgers with a little slab of
Yup,
cheese
yup. I
and
remember
a fucking no brand cola. And she just
Yeah.
said cola.
And
with
the
probably
bread was so
Percy.
bad too that it would like probably just rip apart.
Yes, rip 'em. The cheese was unmelted. The patty was hella cold and
Cold,
shit. It
I
was
don't
like
even know
two
if that was
sliders.
meat, bro. Yeah, I
But it
remember
had
that.
this song as the
Commercial.
as the commercial for this.
Holy
Before we get into this last song and sign out with this one, what are your thoughts here on The Prodigy?
pretty
Look at
interesting
that.
album, and I'm curious to know if they're the ones who influenced the sound that is just so familiar to us, and that we hear it and we just automatically recognize like what kind of sound it is, or whether basically they were influenced by it and it was already something established and they just basically made something else that sounds very similar to it. If that makes any sense.
Right. Haku had said earlier in the chat too. He had said something to the tune of like the Chemical Brothers. Also had like a similar sound that kind of like defined, and it was almost like a pleasant nostalgia that you didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Like as we talked about these moments of like just the late '90s, early 2000s, it was like it's like our childhood. So it
Yeah.
was like, and we heard these songs kind of just around the background of movies. I'm probably go watch Swordfish, later tonight and
There you go.
check it out. But good one, Haku. Thanks for the
Yeah.
drop on this one. Next week we're gonna be doing next week's episode 20.
Thanksgiving special.
Thanksgiving special. You'll check that out. It's gonna be a banger. We'll have everything on this best episode that
Fun
we've ever
facts
done.
of rappers whom you didn't know were Native American. Rappers whom you didn't know were descendants of pilgrims.
The history of orange soda and where it originated from. We're actually going to watch a director's cut of the first Lord of the Rings, one that hasn't been seen before. We had to pirate it ourselves, so don't tell.
Straight from
You
Peter
wouldn't-
Jackson's library.
You wouldn't steal a car, would you?
We're gonna go over the best Thanksgiving bars ever.
Of all
Best
time.
turkey related bars.
It's gonna be. We're actually gonna together in tandem cook a turkey. You're gonna want to be here for that.
Cook a turkey hood style.
This has been episode 19. It's been a great time. I'm James Levine.
And I'm Mohammed.
This has been the Book Club. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.